Hi, it's Chris Toplack from the Signature Spot. Thanks for joining me. The topic today is one I am deeply passionate about. It's all about over-scripting in professional wrestling, how it is at the detriment of the performers, the wrestlers, if you will, and how you should allow them to sink or swim on their own. To let them discover their own voice, leverage that voice, because you cannot capture the essence of a character when you hand them a script. Especially when a writer has just said, this is who you are, this is what you're going to sound like. By the way, you have an hour to memorize, go perform to Vince's liking. And yes, I am specifically referencing the WWE because it is vastly different in many other promotions. You cannot overly script these performers and expect them to knock it out of the park every single time. They are not Hollywood-trained actors. And even those who have crossed over to Hollywood, they just want the jot notes when they do what they do best, which is in a professional wrestling ring. Imagine handing a script to Ric Flair or the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, or Jake Roberts, or Stone Cold Steve Austin said, this is who you are, this is who you're going to be, this is how you're going to sound. No. They knew their character better than anybody else, not a writer. That's for damn sure. And why Roman Reigns and Jey Uso have resonated with millions of viewers, and why it's been such a deeply emotional feud and just undeniably compelling is the fact they get to be themselves amped up, right? How could you write for both of those individuals when they know themselves so well and they know each other so well? That's why you've seen so much genuine emotion between them. So Jey Uso actually said that during a podcast episode appearance on Gorilla Position, that the source material comes from both of them. Writers have not been heavily involved, maybe some jot notes here or there, but it's up to them to sink or swim. It's up to them to perform. Now, I've been a massive Paul Heyman fan for about a quarter of a century. It seems insanely long when I articulate it in that form, but it's true. For about 25 years, I've been a Paul Heyman guy, if you will, even though it doesn't mean as much as, say, CM Punk or Steve Austin or Undertaker, so many others. But Paul Heyman would coach. He wouldn't just hand you a script and say, here you go. He would coach and say, this is what I'm thinking. This is how we pull it out of you. But also, it was a true collaboration as well. And that's how you bring out all those positives, all of those strengths, and you hide the weaknesses, or at least you work on them. Because you want them to bring out the best and to realize the potential that is already there. Roman Reigns is doing such an exceptional job because he gets to be himself, amped up to 11. And he personifies cool. And yes, he does carry himself as the man, the guy. He holds the company on his shoulders. And even though he's a humble human being, as Joe, you know that he does believe that I am the guy and I am the leader and I better step up. So that's why this storyline has resonated so much. And even when you see writers collaborate with wrestlers, a great example is Chris Jericho and Jimmy Jacobs when it came to the list, and you're on the list. Jimmy Jacobs, of course, a former professional wrestler, very creative individual. He was working with Chris Jericho on that, but it was a collaboration. Same with Brian Gewirtz when he would be involved with The Rock. Now he's with $7 Productions, and also Edge and Christian, Kurt Angle, so many others. You cannot just expect to hand a script to these professional wrestlers and they capture the essence of what somebody else wrote. It just doesn't work. Allow the wrestlers to be themselves. We'll see who succeeds. As opposed to saying, I don't know if Cesaro can cut a promo or not. Throw him out there with a live microphone and see what he's capable of. That's the only way that you will be able to gauge how competent somebody is behind a microphone or where they need to improve. But I want to see more of that in professional wrestling, and that's why a lot of the storylines recently have worked so well. Look at Eddie Kingston over in AEW. Do you think anybody scripts what he has to say? God, no. And that is why he is arguably the most believable microphone magician in the game today, because he gets to be himself. So allow the performers, the wrestlers, to be themselves. Don't hand them scripts. Don't expect them to memorize it and capture the essence of who you think their character is. Give them a little bit of direction and some coaching. And send them off to the races and see what they're capable of doing. I'm going to do more of these topics and get more involved in some videos here on the Signature Spot. I hope you enjoy it, and thank you for your ongoing support.